name is Ashley Wish, and this is Scott Gruber, the President and CEO of Bridge Capital. Today we're going to be talking about the who, whats, and whens for investors. When is it the right decision to use an alternative lender?
Actually, that's a great question. Let's be honest about this. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I think I need a private lender. So in order to get into the private lending space, the first thing someone will have done is they'll have looked at more traditional mortgage companies or more traditional banking type solutions. What people are finding today is the way that financing and what types of financings are available. When you start talking about how do I get financing for my investment property, in many instances, traditional lenders just are not in that space. At that point, if you decide that you want financing, you're going to have to step into the world of alternative or private lenders. And I think that that's where Bridge Capital really separates itself from other people in the private lending space, especially if you're an investor looking for financing for your real estate, your investment real estate.
Alrighty, so now we get to the point where I have all cash versus financing. Do I want to use all of my cash to invest in a $100,000 home, or do I want to finance that transaction?
Actually, that's probably the most important question that you could ask, and I think that's where Bridge Capital, the first thing that we'll do when we work with the client is make sure they come up with the right answer to that question. Let's look at it this way. If you're making an investment in real estate, knowing that it's going to give you a cash flow, and you need that cash flow to pay this month's living expenses, then the leverage transaction is not right for you. So we would say that person should go all cash with their investment. Now, the majority of us and the majority of the people that are looking at investment real estate will come to the following decision. I've got $100,000, as you said. So what we try to help them do is invest in as much real estate today as they can for that $100,000. The end proposition being, let's say instead of buying $100,000 worth of property, all cash today, we help them buy $200,000 and use that $100,000 as a down payment. At some point in the not very distant future, they will now have $200,000 worth of fully paid for real estate and the cash flow coming off of $200,000 worth of property versus $100,000 worth of property.
Many of the investors that I've talked to have said they've tried to use traditional financing and they were not successful. Is it worth their time to use Bridge Capital's financing?
Absolutely. If you really look at what's happened in this country over the last 4 or 5 years, there's a lot of people that have a credit story. Bridge Capital has described itself as a private lender that takes a common sense approach. And we sincerely mean that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the borrower and their unique story. The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at the property that they're trying to invest in. We're going to look at the asset. So we look at the borrower, we look at the asset, and we try to come up with a lending solution that works. And I'm going to tell you now, between people that have left the corporate working world and are now self-employed, between people that have vast amounts of money in their retirement and 401k plans, international investors, any number of people have found us to be a very attractive financing solution for them. So I would encourage anybody that thinks you would lend money to yourself or thinks this project is worth doing to seek Bridge Capital, because we'll probably see what you see.
This is just a start that I'm sure investors have. If you have any other questions that you would like to ask Bridge directly, please feel free to contact us at the numbers below. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.